So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing some boxing content. I'm taking a little bit of a break from the MLB content, and I want to break down this Gervonta Davis-Lamont Roach fight, specifically what happened in the 9th round and all the controversy surrounding this fight, and just give my overall thoughts and opinions on the whole situation. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today we're doing boxing. Thank you guys for joining me for another presentation. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with me. Today we are talking boxing. Gervonta Davis fought Lamont Roach last night in a great 12-round action-packed fight that ended in numerous controversy after the fight was over. If you don't know, if you haven't watched it, this fight was called a split decision draw. Majority draw, I think. And a lot of people do not agree with that, especially because of what happened in this fight in the 9th round. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of context to this video. I have something up on the screen to where you can watch what actually happened. So I'm going to shut up for a quick moment and let you guys watch this.
But Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right.
He took a knee.
He took a knee. What is he doing?
He forgot his... It's got to be a knock.
What in the world is happening?
Took a knee. He's got to count.
I understand. You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up.
All right, so let's break down this entire situation that happened in the 9th round of this fight. Now, to add a little bit of context to this, the first 8 rounds, the early rounds, I thought Tank won the early rounds. And I thought he was a little bit more aggressive. I thought his punches were a little bit more accurate and he was landing the cleaner shots. But around round 6 or 7, Lamont started to come on late. And he started to take the pressure to Tank Davis. And credit to Lamont Roach, I didn't see him doing this at all. I thought I actually had Tank Davis winning by knockout in the 9th round. So for all you Tank fans that's getting ready to call me a hater, I actually had Tank winning. But, you know, in this 9th round, past the 7th round, I felt like Lamont came out really strong. He actually wobbled and hurt Tank Davis multiple times in this fight. And arguably, this should have been a knockdown. No, not arguably, it should have been a knockdown. And we're going to review this thing from top to bottom. So if you're a Tank fan and you're getting ready to start complaining in the comment section about how I'm being a hater and how it wasn't a knockdown and how he didn't land a punch, and he's entitled to get aid because there's something in his eye, and Lamont took a knee too. If you're one of those fans, you can go ahead and click off this video right now, because you're not going to be happy about what I got to say. Anyway, 9th round, we see now Lamont did land somewhat of a right hand right before this situation. I think Tank rolled with it a lot, so it took a lot of the sting out the punch, but I think it hit him in that eye. Because after this, you see Lamont land that jab, right? And then immediately you see Tank usher his right eye, his left eye, to his glove so he can wipe it. Right after that, look at his face. Look at his face. You mean to tell me that punch didn't land? Because that's the main excuse I see that Tank fans keep bringing up, that, Lamont didn't land the punch. Look at his face. That punch landed. That jab landed. So Tank takes a step back. He resets because the punch landed. He takes a few minutes. He jumps up and down. Then he starts to look at Steve Willis. I'm wondering what's he doing, because his hands are down. If Lamont was paying a little bit more attention, he could have wailed on Tank Davis right here. But I'm guessing he's still very cautious at this point in the fight because he knows Tank has that left hand equalizer. But what ends up happening here is you get Tank Davis bouncing up and down, then he goes down to a knee. That's a knockdown. Point blank period. That is a knockdown. He goes down to a knee voluntarily to avoid any more punishment. So, we're going to see what Steve Willis does. Lamont's thinking that he's knocked him down and the ref is getting ready to step in. Here comes Steve Willis. You see Tank turn around. Mind you, Steve Willis is nowhere in this picture right now. When he takes a knee, you're supposed to be on that. So Tank turns around. He runs to his corner, not the neutral corner. He doesn't wait for the referee to administer a 10 count. He runs to his own corner. And what Steve Willis does is he's going to usher Lamont Roach to the neutral corner. And Lamont is looking like, yeah, I got him. I knocked him down. He issues him to the neutral corner. Tank Davis, at this current moment, is sticking his head out the ring. That's a point deduction. Because he's talking to his corner in the middle of a round, sticking his head out the ring. That's a point deduction. Everybody in the crowd is wondering what the hell is going on. So, Steve Willis issues him to the neutral corner, meaning he wants to signal a knockdown. Steve Willis immediately starts issuing a 10 count. He's at the count of 2. That's clearly 2 fingers held up. If you're a Tank fan and you blind and you can't see that, I don't know what else to tell you. That's a clear 2 count right there. The problem is nobody else is counting with Steve Willis. There was no PA announcer counting with him. There was no timekeeper counting with him. They didn't even rule it a knockdown ringside. Everybody's just looking crazy on what the heck is going on. So Tank turns around, he sees the 2 count, doesn't say anything to Steve Willis, and look at this. This is the most appalling part of it all. Steve Willis looks down. He's basically saying, dude, you just went down to a knee. Look what Tank Davis does. He sticks his head out the ring. Here comes Calvin Ford with a towel, and he wipes Tank Davis's face off with the towel. That's immediately a disqualification. And listen to what Steve Willis says in this video. Just listen.
It's got to be a knockdown. What in the world is happening?
Took a knee. He's got to count.
Listen to me. I understand. You take a knee like that looks like a knockdown. All right?
When you take a knee like that, it looks like a knockdown. Well, Steve Willis, if it looks like a knockdown, that's probably because it is a knockdown. And no fighter in the history of the sport has taken a knee and not have it called a knockdown, let alone run to his own corner and get aid in the middle of a round. So this was a complete failure from Steve Willis from not deducting a point. Now, considering that they fought in NYC, and considering that the rules are different in NYC, and the rules that they were fighting under, Steve Willis could not, at his own discretion, rule it a knockdown. So that's rule number 1, because I heard a lot of Tank fans point that out too. That Steve Willis is in his discretion to not rule it a knockdown. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I have receipts for it too, if you want to come at me about that. But under the rules that they were fighting under, he could not, at his own discretion, rule it a knockdown. But the ringside officials could. The replay officials could. And they didn't. But Steve Willis is in control of what happens in that ring. And also, when Gervonta Tank Davis sticks his head up the ring, not once, but twice, that's a point deduction. That is a point deduction. That might even be a DQ, because you can't get aid in the middle of a fight. And when you go back and look at the whole situation, everybody is panicked. You can see the panic on their face. Everybody's wondering, the crowd is wondering what the heck is happening. Steve Willis is panicking. Lamont Roach is the only guy that's not panicking. The ringside officials have no idea what they're doing. So, when you come into the comments section or you go on Twitter and you complain about how that wasn't a knockdown, Lamont Roach is beside himself at this point, because he feels like that was a knockdown. And this kind of costed Lamont Roach the fight. Because if I go to the scorecards right now on BoxRec, and this is on BoxRec, so I'm not making this up, Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman, they were the 2 judges that scored it a draw. If that 9th round is called a 10-8 round, Lamont Roach wins that fight. Forget about Eric Marlinski for a second, because on his card, I think Tank still would have won narrowly. But on these 2 cards, if that 9th round is called a 10-8 round. Lamont Roach squeaks out with a win. And that's not even counting what the fans thought. The fans had it wide. They had Lamont winning 117-111. Or 115-109 in terms of just metric scoring. So it's not like people are just making up stuff. This is on box rep. And it's not like the knockdown didn't matter. This costed that ninth round. The reason what that was not turned into a knockdown, that costed him the fight right then and there. And it should have been a point deduction. In what world, in the sport of boxing, for however long it's been around, for the longest it's been around since the 1800s, in what world can a fighter take a knee, run over to his own corner, and stick his head out the ring twice, not once, but twice, and then have Calvin Ford bring him a towel, or his or her trainer bring him a towel, him or her a towel, and have administer aid without the referee's permission? Tank Davis has to have the referee's permission to get aid for his eye. Ali didn't do that when he had Vaseline in his eye. He didn't take a knee. He didn't run over to his corner and ask them to wipe it off. He had to deal with it. He had to survive. So all you Tank fans that are asking, what is he supposed to do? He had something in his eye. You survive. You're a boxer. And I find that hard to believe too, because if he had something in his eye, he would be moving around the ring like crazy. Trying to survive because he can't see the punches because he can't see. But it doesn't matter about the hair gel. I don't care what Angel Reese says. I don't care what Amanda Serrano says. I don't care how many excuses you make or how many AI overviews you bring up. That's a knockdown. And that's a point deduction. And that's a disqualification. So he got away with 3 grievous errors and grievous breaking of the rules that nobody is calling out. Because you feel like Tank Davis, he has the swagger, he has the braids, he has the leg tats, and he has this charisma to him, and he gets all these fancy knockouts that he's just above the sport of boxing and its rules. Get the heck out of here. There's no reason why Lamont Roach shouldn't have that scored as a knockdown. If you disagree and you're a Tank fan or a Tank fanboy, because fans can admit when their favorite player or fighter is wrong, and they don't just defend every single move. No, you Tank fanboys, if you feel like you have a disagreement or you disagree with what I'm saying, show me an example. One example where a fighter has taken a knee in the middle of a fight and not having scored a knockdown, then get immediately back up. Don't give Steve Willis a chance. If Steve Willis pauses, because he's wondering what the hell is going on. Name me a situation where a fighter in any fight, I don't care where it is in the world, where he can take a knee, run to his corner, and get aid without being disqualified. If you can name me one example of that, then I'll shut up. But until then, this is the truth of the matter. Gervonta Tank Davis had a hell of a fight with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach took the fight to him, and it felt like Tank couldn't respond correctly. And that's just the gist of it. So if you want to say Tank won, that's fine. But don't get on here and act like that wasn't a knockdown and that didn't warrant a point deduction, or at least a disqualification, or at least a point deduction. Let's be real, y'all. Let's not play favorites. But anyway, that costed Lamont Roach the fight right there, in my opinion. I had him winning anyway, but it would have been a lot easier to give it to him if he would have got that knockdown. There's no reason he shouldn't have got that knockdown. The commentators were confused. Everybody in that arena was confused on what was happening. And even after the fight, Gervonta Tank Davis got slathered with boos. And those aren't fake fans, mind you. Those are fans that packed an arena, sold out an arena to watch him fight. And stuff like that happens. And then he made excuses after the fight on why it happens. That's why they were booing him, because they felt like the integrity wasn't there. So I don't know what was wrong with this dude in this fight, man. But I know one thing. You guys get all up. You guys get all out, bent out of shape whenever anybody has criticism for Tank Davis. If Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, shoot, y'all do it to Devin Haney every single day. Or Vasyl Lomachenko or Terrence Crawford at any type of situation like this, y'all would be up in arms. Tank Davis had clear and utter preferential treatment last night. If that's not preferential treatment, I don't know what is. You can disagree, but show me a similar situation just like this. You have my Twitter, you can message me personally. So that's all, y'all. I just wanted to get on here and say that. I felt like Tank Davis got a bailout last night. And I felt like even if Lamont didn't clearly win, he definitely won in my book. And that knockdown could have helped him tremendously get a win and he should be the new WBA World Lightweight Champion. Point blank, period. But man, I'm gonna get up out of here. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you can enjoy this type of content, make sure you guys, like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I know this is kind of a godsend from my original content, but this had to be said. Somebody had to say something. But anyway, follow me on social media. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Leave your comment in the comment section if you agree with me or not. Social media is hot right now, so hopefully you guys can interact with me on there. If any of you Tank fanboys got an example to show me, come show me. Point blank, period. I'll have another MLB video up this week. We're doing the NL East, so be looking out for that. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.